Hi, I'm Zoe. Now, if you don't know, I'm an artist myself. Using observations on other artists' business strategies, I'm going to outline a proposed business canvas for myself. This is some of my art on the screen, and I'll link my art YouTube channel in the description of this video and in a card in the top right hand corner. To see it, you can click the I in the top right corner. What is a freelance artist? It's about working for yourself, not being tied down to an organisation. You are your own boss. Being a freelance artist is actually a type of entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is somebody who is self-made. They make themselves, and they are usually the leader and the innovator behind a business process. What is the business canvas? A business canvas is a 9-step plan on running a business side to any type of project. This is what it looks like in its simplest form. Step 1 is customer segments. Customer segments asks the questions: who are your audience/customers? Who pays you? And who do you want to pay you? My answers to those questions are: my audience is mainly aged between 16 to 25 and the majority are females. I know this information from my YouTube channel analytics. Being a freelance artist takes on a business to consumer format because it focuses on a smaller demographic and a more narrow-ended target market. Part 2 is value propositions, and it asks you how much are people willing to pay you, how much you value yourself, and what sets you and your creative work apart from others. 2 examples of popular artists are Bailey J and Sophia Alou. Bailey is from Canada and Sophie is from England, so the currency conversion will be done as well as rounding up the prices for more simplicity. Both artists sell their original artworks on a website called Store Envy, and that uses US dollars pricing. Bailey sells her art for $200 US, whereas Sophie sells hers for $150 US. The calculations show that Bailey is more willing to charge a higher price. Although a lower price point actually works better for the target market because the target audience are young teenage artists who look up to both artists and would most likely have their parents pay for the artworks being sold. Sophie has an attention to detail, but because Bailey is more popular on social media, this works in Bailey's favour. Part 3 is called Channels. It's about the engagement and the communication with your audience. What works best? And whether to go about it through the internet, social media, or offline and in person. In this day and age, most artists set up business online and use social media to promote their art to reach more people. As a freelance, being online makes it easier for people to find your work. For example, I mainly use YouTube and Instagram to share my artwork online, YouTube being a video sharing site and Instagram for images. Social media does have its disadvantages though. Number 1 is, if you have too many types of social media, you risk spreading yourself too thinly and you won't be able to keep up with posting on your social media. 2 is how professional you are on your art accounts. Most times, too many personal posts can turn people off, especially on Instagram. I'm also very guilty of this, but I haven't been doing it recently. When promoting your work offline, you can do it in places like newspapers, magazines, and posters, as well as organise events such as exhibitions and conventions. Either way, promoting your work is important to creating a name for yourself. Part 4 is customer relationships. How do you build relationships with customers? How do you deal with people who do and don't support you, with or without money? One way of building relationships with your audience is live streaming. People will get to see the person behind the artwork. Myself and even other artists do this to have more of a connection with their audiences. When I live stream, people can see my face and I chat directly with the chat. The concept is pretty much the same with my YouTube videos, except it's a little bit more professional and edited more for a purpose. In my case, it depends what kind of video I do. However, YouTube creators usually only show the best parts about themselves, but sometimes it's the flaws that the audience actually find endearing and relatable. 5 is revenue streams. What sources of revenue does your work provide? Are there any day job considerations? What is the customer contribution to the overall income? A freelance artist should consider having multiple revenue streams to support themselves. A few examples of this could be YouTube ad revenue, which is something that I get, donations via live streams, so you can stream on either Twitch or YouTube. You can have a Patreon. Basically, Patreon is crowdfunding. It's also like Kickstarter and Indiegogo. They are a few of the other examples. You offer a reward for people to support you. You could do commissions. There is also the option of having online stores like Store Envy or Etsy to sell your original work. You can also use merchandise websites that allow you to upload your images to the site so you can actually sell them as different items such as prints, bags, pillowcases, duvets. The list is endless. The last source of revenue suggestion could be conventions like Comic-Con. You could sell your artwork at a convention. Part 6 is cost structure. Here is a cycle of money flowing in and out of a business. When you're a freelance artist, you are your own business, so you have to work out all the little details and everything that goes in and out of a business. The cost structure is also about how you manage your time, your materials, everything that goes in and out of a business. Cost structure is about the ins and outs of a business. So, what money do you have to spend for there to come out of a business? Part 7 is key partnerships. Key partnerships focuses on the partner relationships and the value exchange with partners, and can it work both ways? Working freelance usually means you're working for yourself, but keeping potential partners in the good books is always beneficial to you in the long run. Keeping professional relationships with people is the best way to promote success in a partnership. A type of partnership an artist could have is a collaboration. Collaborations on types of content is a minor example of partnership. Just like my collaboration with other artists, I will leave that in the top right hand corner, like with the rest of the links, as well as in the description. Part 8 is about key resources. What key resources do you already have to produce your work, promote and sell your artwork? Here are my existing resources. Part 9 is key activities. Key activities that your work practice requires. Key activities that your business requires. Because let's be real, yes, being a freelance artist sounds great, but it's the boring business side nobody ever sees or talks about that is the most important. You have to put into consideration the intangible resources, the intellectual resources, physical resources such as art materials and paper, and the human resources. The human resource is actually yourself because you produce the work. So overall, freelancers are entrepreneurs. They build themselves up because there is nobody there to do it for them. They are their own creation. Becoming a freelance artist is a calculated risk. There is a chance of failure, but most artists with the passion for their craft see this as more of a reason to push for success. They are motivated entrepreneurs because they mainly are doing it for a sense of self-satisfaction. Being able to be your own boss takes a lot of self-discipline, and most likely having to work more hours, but the payoff is to work for a long-term career rather than a short-term job. So I'm just going to leave you on a few comments by Joseph Scumpter and Peter Drucker. I've probably pronounced their names wrong. But these comments articulate the function of entrepreneurs and the innovation that they provide.